What's going on? It's your boy, Sheiv, the Wise, and welcome back to Vader's Lair, one and all. We are just hours away from the Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 7, so let's get into the preview. Let's talk all about it. Let's kind of recap Star Wars Celebration, because there was a lot of fun news that came out of that, and let's do it. Welcome into the channel, everybody. It is good to see you, all of you guys. Lord Vito, thank you for being a member for 6 months, my man. Let's get this thing rolling, though, because we have a lot to talk about tonight. Before getting into our watch party later for The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 7. So let's get into our preview here. Let's kind of do a recap of last episode and the season as a whole as we get to the penultimate episode tonight. The episode before the finale, episode 7 here. I think this is going to be a big one. We've been building all season, getting closer and closer to what seems like the return of Moff Gideon or the Imperial remnants at this time. We've also been building towards kind of a, I guess, unification of the Mandalorians as well. And Lord Vito, thank you for the 10 Vader's Lair memberships. My dude, I appreciate the hell out of you, my man. That's so cool to see you always giving them gift memberships. If you get a membership, make sure to thank Lord Vito down in the chat. Alan Copeland, welcome to the dark side. Dab Matt, welcome to the dark side. Caleb Richardson, welcome to the dark side for you. And Dominic, welcome to the dark side. X Robinson, welcome into the chat. Welcome to the dark side as well. Let's get this thing rolling, though. Let's recap it. So, throughout the season, it seems as though we're building towards a unification of Mandalore, like I was talking about. And now that Bo-Katan has officially reclaimed the Darksaber after back in Chapter 18, defeating the little spider monster that beat Din Djarin and was trying to, General Grievous collect all the Mandalorian's armor, General Grievous with the lightsabers, he's all, another addition to my collection. And then you got the little spider guy trying to get all the Mandalorian helmets, another addition to his as well. So definitely a fun episode back in Chapter 18. But then we got the callback and kind of the loophole to how Bo-Katan now is once again the owner of the Darksaber. It felt just a smidge cheap. And I feel like that's going to be kind of played out throughout the story as well. And I feel like this is a big part of Din Djarin's story. The whole fact that he doesn't really want to be the leader. He never really wanted the Darksaber, and he was very reluctant to not only wield it, but to have the responsibilities that come alongside it. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this episode as well. We're going to get more into it here, but welcome in everybody in the chat. It is good to see you all. I'm going to pull my chat back up. It is good to see you all, though. I am super excited to have every single one of you guys here this Mandalorian Tuesday with us. Again, we're going to be doing our watch party at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight. So I will see you all there later as well. Just for any, what up, my man? Welcome into the chat. Lord Vito, good to see you as well. Talented Mr. Griffin, what up, though? KG, good to see you too. Don Clouderman, what up? W stream. Hey, you said it, X Robinson. So, you guys are saying Vito said my favorite emojis besides my own Momo emotes on Discord. Yes, the Grogu emotes are definitely something special. I love those things, man. I did it so everyone can see the emojis. Yes. If you just got a gift membership from Vito, make sure to post the emotes into the chat first of all. And second of all, make sure to tell him thank you, because Vito be too generous giving everybody, you get a membership, everybody gets a membership when Vito's in town, you know what I mean? Brian Stone says, Mike, do we get Bo versus Gideon tonight or next week? Yo, that is an excellent question. So that is something that we could be kind of hurling towards in these last 2 episodes, is potentially a fight between Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon, maybe even some flashbacks to the first time the two fought, which we've never seen. We just know that Bo-Katan lost the Darksaber at some point, and of course Moff Gideon became the rightful owner of it, or at least became the owner of it. We don't know how Bo-Katan lost it to him, but somewhere along the line, she did. Now, this begs another question that I think a lot of the fandom has been wondering, or at least speculating, about Moff Gideon. Kind of his origins or his background. Like, a lot of people are wondering or speculating maybe this dude is a Mandalorian. Because we know that Mandalorians have worked with the Empire in the past, whether it was Gar Saxon during the Imperial Age in Star Wars Rebels. I mean, they're willing to work for whoever is going to pay them, give them the best benefits, or put them in power. Like, generally, Mandalorians are going to do stuff that put them in power. And I don't think that the power struggle for Mandalore is anywhere near over in this story. I think it's only beginning. What we think is potentially the unification of Mandalorians throughout this season, I think is only going to be leading us to another Mandalorian civil war at this point. For a while, I thought maybe we were going to get kind of a unification. But now seeing Bo-Katan walking both worlds, as the armorer says, and having her kind of get the Darksaber back, I'm really curious to see how that plays out this episode, because obviously the Night Owls are like, well, yeah, I guess she is the owner, you know what I mean? But then you have all the members of the Children of the Watch, which, of course, they want to unite Mandalore as well, so maybe they'll get behind it, but I think there's going to be members, whether it's Paz Vizsla or some of the other members in the Children of the Watch in particular, that are going to challenge Bo-Katan, because, again, her claim to the saber is a very loose one, you know what I mean? Like, she beat a spider creature thing on Mandalore that happened to beat Din Djarin right before, so I guess she's the owner. I would love to see Paz Vizsla be like, nah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if the armorer really wants Bo-Katan to be the leader of the Mandalorians. Like, I kind of wonder or question that, because it seems like because Bo-Katan has walked both worlds, she wants Bo-Katan to be the one to unite them. She's the one that's able to unite all the Mandalorians. But does the armorer really want Bo-Katan to be the leader of all the Mandalorians? I think that's the question I have going into tonight's episode. What do you guys think in the chat? Jared Dyer, welcome into the chat. The Mandalorian, yes, is Moff Gideon a Mandalorian? I don't know. I'm still kind of wondering. Like, it seemed like some Mandalorians potentially saved him 2 episodes ago. And I love that they kind of took an episode to have a little fun, and even though it progressed the story and obviously gave Bo-Katan the Darksaber, last episode was definitely very different to The Mandalorian, and I actually enjoyed it a lot through my second watch. The first time, I kind of got taken out of it a little bit by all the celebrity cameos, which, to be honest, it's cool to see a lot of those people in Star Wars. It's kind of fun. I did get taken a little bit out of the episode, but then my second watch, I'm like, this is a fun episode, you know what I mean? It has actually a lot of stuff in it, whether it's a Mandalorian challenge where 2 are fighting each other in live action. Like, we've never really seen anything like that in live action. Bo-Katan getting the Darksaber. Again, all the celebrity cameos. You get kind of a detective storyline where Bo-Katan and Din Djarin are off trying to, figure out what's going down with these battle droids. And then, of course, you get kind of the dynamic or conflict within Din Djarin himself about how he feels about battle droids. Now, a lot of people, again, I've talked about this earlier in the week, but a lot of people were kind of questioning if Din Djarin is kind of reverting back to the way he was in Season 1, where he didn't trust droids, because, he had been through this whole arc, it seemed like, in Season 1, where he began to trust IG-11, and slowly he's beginning to trust droids throughout the story. And then you get, R5 going with him to Tatooine, or going with him to Mandalore. You get him trying to rebuild IG-11, even though IG-11 tries to kill him. Still haven't got back to that storyline, and I'm wondering if we could tonight, potentially. We'll save that thought, though. But, Din Djarin seemingly starting to trust droids, but then he has a few little kickbacks, and people saw this last episode and were like, it's like he's back in Season 1 where he doesn't trust droids. I don't think that's the case. I think he's starting to trust droids. It's just B2s in particular, because they were the droids that basically are responsible for what happened to his parents. He, in particular, hates them. and seeing them on that little assembly line or whatever it was on what was that planet called, Plaisir 7 or Plaisir 15, seeing all those droids on Plaisir 15, trying to figure out what's wrong with the malfunctioning ones. Din Djarin was having a fun time kicking them and messing with those droids a little bit, and I actually really like the little like Clone Wars feel of this past episode. But now I think we're getting down to the nitty gritty of the season, because we've been building a lot this season. A lot of people have been kind of curious where the story is heading or what's been kind of set up throughout the story, and I think we're going to culminate this season pretty nicely in these last 2 episodes. I've heard tonight's episode is about 50 minutes. I'm expecting probably a lot of content to be in those 15 minutes or 50 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, they're probably going to use every second, and the story is going to go a lot further in these last 2 episodes. We still have close to 2 hours of content. You know what I mean? Like, there's still a whole like movie's length worth of story to tell. I can't wait to see where it is. Where it starts to go tonight with you guys. It's gonna be friggin' fun. Politics, good to see you in the chat, my man. He says maybe Din was triggered by the battle droid, a type of PTSD. Definitely could be the case too. I think he's still in the back of his mind, has a dislike for them. You know what I mean? Like he's starting to trust them more, and certain droids are better than others. You know what I mean? To him, that's obviously not the case. It's just depending on their programming and everything. But the Din Djarin is like, certain droids are better than others, and even though these B2s are being repurposed, he's like, I know what these dudes are for. And he's like, you're giving me an excuse to mess with them? Say less. You know what I mean? Jedi Mike, last 3 weeks for me. 9, 8, and 9 out of 10. 8. Pretty solid scores overall. I think we're going to finish off with some high 9s as well. If not, close to perfect episodes at the end of this season. Mike the Popcorn Porter, welcome in, my dude. Welcome in, and I am so happy that you popped into the chat. He says, like I said, last week's episode was wonderful. I can't help it if some didn't feel it. Yeah, I can't help it either. I definitely felt it more the second time around, and the vibes within it definitely felt like a Clone Wars episode. It felt very, very Star Wars to me overall. It was fun. Droids, says Nerd Mafia. Where we going, we don't need droids. Fair enough. Star Wars Politics says, I hope this episode is a banger, like how last season's episode 6 was. The one where Boba came back. Yeah, so I started to think about it throughout the season. They're kind of following a pattern in these first 3 seasons where it's, Grogu and Din on some adventures through the first portion of the season. They end up accomplishing their kind of feat at some point along the way, whatever the goal is, which this season would have been, redeeming Din Djarin and I guess the progression of the Mandalorians as a whole. And then we get to episodes 7 and 8 of the season, which again, in seasons 1 and 2, they almost did the same thing with this, where it was kind of like the Moff Gideon episodes. It's same way with season 1, same way as season 2, and I think it's going to be the same way here with season 3. Again, I've been staying away from all the spoilers and stuff, but the Moff Gideon plot is coming, man. Like, he's been teased since the first episode of the season when we found out about what happened to Cara Dune. She took him in. He was being taken to a war tribunal. Episode 3, we find out through listening to Dr. Pershing and, his experience within the New Republic that it was a rumor that Moff Gideon had escaped from prison on the en route to the war tribunal, en route to basically being put on trial. And then we find out 2 episodes ago he escaped. Or at least a Mandalorian, it looks like, helped him escape. We don't know exactly who. We don't know how the Beskar was even left. I'm even questioning how the Beskar broke off in the ship. I didn't think Beskar would do that. I don't know how it all works. But either way, it seemed as though Moff Gideon was either taken by Mandalorians or he's setting up the Mandalorians to look bad to the New Republic, potentially. Not exactly sure. But then we had this whole fun episode, and now it's just time for some fun tonight. And these last 2 episodes, definitely think we're heading towards Moff Gideon. So where are we at in the chat? Mando, Moff Gideon? I think so. Tim says, much love, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. Hey, Timothy, what up, my dude? Good to see you in the chat, goat. I'm glad. I hope you're doing well, too, man. And I hope you're excited for tonight's episode. Because I think these last two are going to be bangers. I think they're going to be bangers. The Beskar ship stuff is weird. Right, Jedi Mike? It has me scratching my head a little bit. Kind of wondering, where is it going? You know what I mean? Is Moff Gideon working with Mandalorians? Did he get taken by Mandalorians? I've been wondering the past 2 weeks. What happened to Moff Gideon? I mean, we had this like throwaway line back in season 2. Actually, it wasn't even in season 2. It was in the Book of Boba Fett, where Paz Vizsla is talking to Din Djarin, and Din Djarin basically says that Moff Gideon was taken in by the New Republic, or he was arrested by the New Republic, and Paz Vizsla, total throwaway line, says to Din Djarin, he should have been killed for his atrocities, or he should have been murdered for his atrocities, basically. And it totally shows what the viewpoint for the Mandalorians is on, well, of course, the remnants of the Empire, but of course on Moff Gideon as well, which we know Moff Gideon was most likely responsible for the Night of 1,000 Tears, which destroyed Mandalore and glassed it to the position that it's in today. I wouldn't be surprised if Mandalorians did end up snatching up Moff Gideon, taking him, and maybe trying to deal with him in their own way. We'll end up seeing, though, it is possible that maybe some Mandalorians are working for him. Again, maybe Moff Gideon is a Mandalorian himself, but I'm real curious about it. I'm real curious where it's going to go. Star Wars Politics has been staying away from the spoilers also, except the other day. Oh no, the EBN dudes, that's wild, man. They dropped some leaks, totally unexpected, really didn't spoil anything for me. Yeah, dude, I feel you, Politics. I'll go around the Star Wars YouTube space and hear some people every now and then, and it sucks when people drop spoilers out of nowhere when you're listening and you're like, dude, I totally did not want to know this. You know what I mean? Like, I've definitely had that same experience. It sucks, man. I've been trying to dodge all the spoilers myself, too, and I'm glad that I've been able to stay away. The Ahsoka spoilers, I'm trying to dodge left and right. You know what I mean? There's certain stuff I haven't even been able to dodge because it's been everywhere, whether it's the name of the two little, like, Inquisitor orange lightsaber dudes. Like, that's everywhere, and I can't, like, it's hard to stay away from certain stuff, but I'm doing my best to stay away from the spoilers these days, and I'm trying to. Thanks, everybody, for respecting and not putting any in the chat. Facts, Tim. Hey, Vito, thank you for the $10 super chat, my dude. You are too generous, as always. Thank you, my man. He says, take this towards the emoji funds. V needs more adorable Grogu emojis like these. Well, we definitely have some fun ones in the Discord, Vito. There's a few more, Ahsoka and then Grogu, a whole bunch of different kind of ones. So go check out the ones we got in the Discord. And thank you for the funds for the emotes. I'll look into doing some more, but we might need to get some more members. And speaking of which, if you're not already a Vader Slayer member, it might be the time to become one. Although I will say maybe you want to hold off, because I'm thinking about adding a $5 member tier, because we're doing a giveaway at the end of the month. And here's the official announcement for it. August 28th is the release date for Jedi Survivor. We're going to be giving away a copy to a member in the lair, so make sure to become a Vader's Lair member when you can. And then at the end of the month, August 28th, we are going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to be trying to do a giveaway. Maybe, I think we're going to do it through the Discord. That's where we did our last giveaway, and it's been a long time since we did one on the channel, but I do want to give away a copy of Jedi Survivor. So if you're interested, make sure to become a Vader's Lair member today. Thank you. Alright, make sure to smash that like button, by the way. Subscribe to the channel if you are new to the channel, and a big welcome if you are. Let's get back into the chat. Vito says it's 100% worth it. Do it just for the emojis alone. You know what I mean? I mean, the dollar memberships are definitely for the emotes. Come on. Michael says Mike is still very louder. I understand. I made it a little louder today so I could hear myself. And there goes the mic entirely. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, you can hear me still. That was almost bad. The computer was overloading. Alright, do it. Chun-Li Fortnite, welcome in. He says, I am the Mandalorian. Hey, welcome in, Mandalorian. I didn't know we had Din Djarin in our presence tonight, but I appreciate it, my dude. Nerd Mafia with the $10 super chat. It'll pop up here in a second. Thank you, my dude. He says, Sheiv, just imagine the amount of white guy buckle up for tonight, man. What? I don't know what you're saying, but Nerd Mafia, you always have a way of throwing some crazy, absurd comment into the chat. I appreciate you for the $10 super, my dude. Thank you for the support. And I'll see you later tonight in the watch party of Europe. I'm so dead. Thank you for the $10 though, Nerd Mafia. Alright. Where else is we in the chat? Y'all are throwing me way off. Steve Saranka says still kind of peaking a bit. Much better though. Alright. It's still loud as hell. Okay, where are we at now? A little better? It's at like 1.1. That's probably why. This is probably way too loud still. Is this better? Better. Now we're just troubleshooting audio. Back to my day job. Alright, Lord Vito says he's thinking you look like powder. Oh my gosh. I did turn the light up, so there you go. You happy with dark, Sheiv? Darkness. Mic check 1 2. Alright, that's perfect. Bet. Brandon Trent says, have you seen the new Jedi Survivor trailer? I have. I don't think we've pulled it up here on the channel, so maybe we'll do that here in the back half of the stream. There's a lot of fun to be had in the Star Wars fandom right now, man. There was so much fun at Celebration this past weekend. I really wish I could have been there. And then, of course, there was the announcement that next year's, or 2025's Star Wars Celebration, my mistake, is going to be in Tokyo, Japan. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that. We'll see. It's at least 2 years out. Japan's far away, but I would love to go to Japan someday. I had some buddies go to Japan this past year. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Sucks. That's all right, though. I'm happy for anybody that does get to go to Japan, and I love the fact that they are kind of doing it in Japan, even though it's harder for me and a lot of us to go. Like, I think it's cool with the fact they're doing visions and everything, which, of course, very anime heavy, or animation inspired anime heavy, though. I mean, Acolyte seems like it has a lot of Kurosawa kind of vibes to it, let alone Ahsoka, of course, as well. So I think it's cool they're doing it in Japan in 2025. And, of course, that is going to be the 20-year anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. It's going to be a crazy year for a movie dropping, too. You know what I mean? 2025 is going to be a big year for Star Wars. See you in Tokyo 2024. Bet, Jedi Mike. We'll see. We def going to Japan. Come on, says Steve Starenka. We'll see. It's still so far out. It's impossible to say at this moment. But I don't know. Tim says I need to go to Japan at least once before I die. I feel you, bro. Me too. I really do want to go at some point, and I'm sure the sushi is gonna be impeccable. You know what I mean? Speaking of sushi, and I know we're all over the place tonight, but I do want to say there was a Bad Batch Season 3 confirmation as well at Celebration, as well as not Acolyte. There was an Acolyte trailer, but Vision Season 2 had a trailer update the other day as well. But Season 3 of Bad Batch, it's coming. It's the final season of the show. Bittersweet. If you guys have been watching Vader's Lair for a while, you know I thought it was going to be 3 to 5 seasons. I was so set on 4 to 5 the past month, and I was like, please, 4 to 5 seasons. It would be perfect. And 3 it is. Darn it. I'm real happy, though, that it is at least 3 seasons. You know, back when we first got the Bad Batch, I wouldn't have even been sure it would be multiple seasons at the time. But I'm so happy that Bad Batch is getting kind of a send-off that is planned. A send-off that is, from what I've heard, going to feel right. Joel Aaron, who does a lot of the lighting over at ILM and works with, obviously, Star Wars a lot. Joel Aaron's an OG. Love Joel Aaron. He was teasing about some of the stuff he was working on for season 3 already, and some fans talking about whether it would feel satisfying having the 3 seasons and capping it off at that. And Joel Aaron was like, I wish you guys could see what's on my screen right now. It's going to be a very, very satisfying ending. So all the tease that we get right now, and I'll dive into it a little bit here, because I'll dive into it right now. There's a little article on StarWars.com. I love the Bad Batch, so let's dive into this, because there is a little article I want to pull up here so you guys can check it out. And it basically talks about season 3 and the little trailer for it that they showed at Celebration. I tried to throw up a lot of the kind of exclusive trailer celebrations over at London this past weekend in the Discord. So if you guys want to check that out, go check out our Discord in the link in the description. I know Tim threw it in there a little bit ago. Shout out to the GOAT. But yeah, let's get into the article. I forget what we were talking about now. So let's check out this article together. It's talking about Bad Batch season 3, the kind of exclusive trailer. It talks a little bit about it and what we can maybe expect now going into season 3. Potential spoilers going into this. There's really not too much, so it's very surface level. But I do want to warn you guys before we get into it. There could be potential spoilers for the Bad Batch season 3 in this. So at Star Wars Celebration Europe 2023, the Bad Batch season 3 was confirmed, and it is coming in 2024. Following the events of the Bad Batch season 2, it was confirmed at Star Wars Celebration. Season 3 is on the way, arriving to Disney Plus in 2024. It was announced by executive producers Jen Corbett and Brad Rao, as well as Athena Portillo, and that all took place at the Bad Batch panel, which was a really fun panel to be had. And the whole reason that I even thought of the Bad Batch was because of sushi and the sushi in season 2, which looked amazing. In another room, the teaser trailer was shown at the end of the panel, and it gave the fans that were there a sneak peek at season 3. And the trailer began, again, potential spoilers here, with the Emperor, once again voiced by Ian McDiarmid, the actor for Palpatine as well, and he was visiting Dr. Royce Hemlock, who we see in season 2, the leader of the Empire's cloning efforts on Mount Tantus. It is imperative that this facility remains secure. All right, let me try that again. It is imperative that this facility remains secure. Palpatine says, "Your brilliance is a great asset to the Empire." All members of the Bad Batch appear, with Hunter addressing Omega's capture at the hands of the Empire. "Omega's been waiting for us," he says. I'm not making her wait another day." We see Omega and the Solon Crosshair both together, still in Imperial custody on Mount Tantus, and Omega says, "I'm not giving up, Crosshair. I won't leave you either. You're my brother." Throughout the trailer, you get glimpses of several other worlds and characters, including Republic commandos, clones, Rex, and plenty of other giant creatures, of course, because it's the Bad Batch. You can't have the Bad Batch without some fun giant creatures. And of course, there was a scene in it as well where Wrecker kind of goes, "Why is there always a huge monster?" And there's always a huge monster. Ming-Na Wen's fan favorite bounty hunter Fennec Shand was also in the trailer, so that's really exciting too. I didn't even know that yet. The Bad Batch follows the heroic Clone Force 99, and as they're also known as the Bad Batch, a group of elite clones, as we know. So definitely looking forward to season 3. I think based on the brief little description here, season 3 is going to be off the bonkers. I've heard, potential spoilers. I heard Wolf was glimpsed in this trailer as well. So big stuff, I think, coming in season 3. I'm super, super excited for it, and I'm just a huge fan of the Bad Batch, man. I can't wait. So let me know what you guys think of season 3 down in the chat below. Let me know how excited for it you are, how sad you maybe are for season 3 to be the last of the Bad Batch seasons. I know personally I'm I'm pretty bummed that it's the last season, but I understand, and I'm hoping for a satisfying story indeed. Let's get back into the chat though. That's pretty hype, says Tim. I think so too. It is pretty freaking hype. I tried to glimpse the trailer when I could. It was real hard, and shout out to the people at the Bad Batch panel for not really recording it, because it gives us a little like extra, like a little extra patience here. Trying not to do too many spoilers, not to spoil it for ourselves. You know what I mean? I'm so excited for it though. The fact that it starts off with Palpatine, I can't wait. Mount Tantus seems like it's going to be kind of a big feature in season 3, having 2 of our main Bad Batch members, Omega and Crosshair, being on the planet, on Wayland. So it's going to be a wild season, man. It's going to be a wild season. Michael says Tech is alive. I hope he's not though. I don't think so. It sounds definitely like he's not. I'll tell you that. So during the Bad Batch panel, Michelle Ang, who voices Omega, basically was talking about it, and you could tell how devastated she was about losing Tech, losing a member of their family, and she basically said, at the end of it, like, it was so sad that he wasn't coming back that episode. And the way she said it was like, coming back that episode, it's like, is he coming back another episode? Jennifer Corbett, however, who is one of the showrunners, did say that he was definitively dead. We know in Star Wars no one's ever really gone, so I don't know. Maybe the Tech we knew is definitively dead. I would love to see them Winter Soldier him or something. Like, I don't know. I love when Star Wars pulls from other media and mediums, you know what I mean? So if they did like an actual Winter Soldier storyline in Star Wars, I would love it. I would love it. The Sabersmith says, I really want to know more about what happened to Wolf. Me too, man. Wolf is so interesting in Star Wars Rebels. Like, he's probably my least favorite of the clone characters in Star Wars Rebels. But he's so intriguing. The fact that his chip is still like malfunctioning and everything. It makes you wonder what's going to happen to him. And I wonder if it has anything to do with what Hemlock is doing on Mount Tantus. I bet you it probably does. Brandon Tran says, do you think the rest of Delta Squad or Commando Neo show up? Yo, that would be dope. Maybe. I would love to see more of Delta Squad. I love seeing all the clones. I'm almost wondering if we're gonna be heading towards season 3 of the in season 3, the Clone Rebellion that I've been waiting for. We're going all off the rails for the Mandalorian, but I totally think that it's possible we could be going towards that. And a Clone Rebellion would be perfection in season 3. I don't know exactly how a Clone Rebellion is going to work in the Bad Batch, because obviously the clones don't win. So if it is the end of season 3 of the Bad Batch, it could explain why we don't see a lot of the clone characters in Star Wars Rebels, and why it's just Wolf, Gregor, and Rex, which all 3 of those characters, if Wolf is rescued next season, we'll see kind of where they end up going towards. And the other thing is too, it could be the end of the Bad Batch. Just this, obviously this is supposed to be the final season of the Bad Batch, but I wouldn't be surprised if out of the Bad Batch comes another animated series, like a Rex story or something that I would totally love. And speaking of another animated series, we did talk about it, I think, the other day, but Tales of the Jedi got a season 2 as well, and I am super excited for that. No, I haven't. So Tim says, bro, you see the Young Jedi Adventures trailer. It looks kind of cool, not gonna lie. I haven't seen it yet. I actually, I gotta go back to StarWars.com, because I think I was reading about Tales of the Jedi, and I don't know if this was just something my brain made up, or if it's a real thing, but I think I saw somewhere that one of the Young Jedi Adventures characters is going to be in Tales of the Jedi Season 2. I'm really not sure. I might be completely wrong about that, so don't take my word for it. I mean, it's for young kids. No, I know it's for young kids. It looks fun, though, the one little clip I've maybe seen of it. The sabered hand needs to come back. You said it, Nermafia. He really does. Mandalorian Martin, welcome into the chat. This is the way. Indeed it is, my friend. Indeed it is. Michelle Ang is hot. Did you say that? I didn't think I did, but Michelle Ang is awesome. Hope for tech. Yeah, we need some hope for tech right now. We need some hope for the Bad Batch in general. I tweeted it out, man. Like, I'm excited for the season 3 of the Bad Batch for sure. I've been a huge Bad Batch fan since season 1. But man, is this last season gonna be pain. It's gonna be painful. Buckle up. If you guys know where Star Wars animation has hurt us in the past, it's gonna hurt us again. It's gonna hurt us again. Star Wars Politics says, oh my god, you think they might kill off Clone Force 99? I don't know entirely if they would. Like, I still think Omega's going to transition into live action at some point, and I would love to see her in the Mandoverse or in a Book of Boba season 2, which, unfortunately, of all my predictions of this past weekend for Star Wars Celebration, one of the few that didn't come to fruition was a confirmation of a Book of Boba season 2. And I really hope they do one still. I really hope they do one still. And it could be possible that the reason they haven't announced it yet is because they're still trying to finish up Omega's story next year in season 3 of the Bad Batch before, transitioning her over into live action. And then we finally get Omega in maybe a Book of Boba season 2. That would be so cool. The Alpha and the Omega, indeed. Tim says, bro, D. Bradley Baker is voicing the little fluffy blue Jedi. I know, Tim. It's so great. His name is Nubs. And Nubs, we need a Nubs emoji stat. Because I will protect Nubs like I protect Grogu. No Nubs hate in the chat is allowed. Or you're banned. The ban hammer is coming for you. Nubs, yes. Protect Nubs at all costs. Phone's about to die. Oh, politics, make it home safe, my dude. Alright, let me see where y'all are at. Star Wars politics. Blah, blah, blah. She's my favorite clone. Yeah, Omega's awesome, man. Omega's freaking awesome. I've loved seeing her progression throughout season 1 and season 2 of Star Wars The Bad Batch, man. And, going into season 3, I'm excited to see where she goes to, man. It sucks she's in Imperial custody. It's scary. It's scary for Omega. Okay, let us go back to The Mandalorian. Let's get back at the topic at hand, because we got some stuff to speculate for tonight. So, I think that Bo-Katan is likely going to have to defend that Darksaber of hers. Like, I'm sure that the Children of the Watch might be like, alright, she's got it. We already kind of messed with her. She's protected our young. Bo-Katan's a G. And trust me, Bo-Katan is absolutely a G. But if they're really uniting all of the Mandalorians, and I think that could maybe start to happen this episode, I think it's possible somebody's going to challenge Bo-Katan. And because we do think Moff Gideon is coming. He was clearly taken by potentially Mandalorians. He is a Mandalorian, potentially. I don't know what's going on, but Moff Gideon's been hanging with some Mandos. It's just true. I'm worried, or I'm curious if maybe Moff Gideon is hanging with some Mandos and he's going to maybe even challenge Bo-Katan. How wild would it be if he takes the Darksaber from her again? I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm still so curious about this episode. I'm wondering where the cloning plot is going from back in seasons 1 and 2, because we know Grogu's blood was taken by Moff Gideon once more. I'm wondering who broke out Moff Gideon right now, because again, it was most likely Mandalorians potentially, but who would have even potentially sent them? Are they working with them? Like, what is going on in this season? Because it has been a wild one, and it's had so much lore and tidbits, and while the Mandalorian culture has definitely developed and grown, Grogu has developed and grown, Bo-Katan for sure has developed and grown this series. I'm wondering where her story in particular is going here at the end, as well as Din Djarin's, who at times maybe has felt like a background character, but Din Djarin's had a lot of progression this season too. What is we thinking in the chat? Mine too, draining. Oh no, everybody plug your phones in, please. Do it. Brandon Trent says, what if young Boba meets Omega in Bad Batch Season 3? I've been waiting for the two of them to meet for a long time. I had a theory way back in the day that there's this like white helmet in Sid's office. And I wanted Omega to get that helmet so bad. And now that they're not friends with Sid, I hope she, like, if some of the Bad Batch members do die, I hope she ends up like just stealing that helmet from her or something. You know what I mean? Vader was framed. Oh no. Bo is a savage. She's absolutely a savage. I also think it's really interesting that we have the Night Owls back in the picture too. I'm wondering how they're gonna get along with this, you know, religious zealot Children of the Watch thing, and they're kind of religious zealots in their own way with, you know, the power of the Darksaber leading to rule. Like, I don't know what's up with that. Second Street Marvel, what up, dude? He says, I'm up in this place. We can start now. Hey, let us begin then. What did you think is going to happen Season 3, Episode 7? Let me know. Don says, big old question. Was the droid just draining Din's fluid for fun, or did they want his DNA / midichlorians? Are you talking about chapter 18, Dawn? So you're talking about the spider creature that was trying to get Din Djarin's armor or his insides potentially. That's an interesting question. Because like they had clearly it was trying to get his armor, I think. That's really what I think was going down. I don't know if it had anything to do with his blood and necessarily. I think it literally like drains people's blood and like body essence to keep itself alive. I think that's what that spider thing was, because like you look inside the suit and it looked like it was like whatever it was draining from people, what was in the suit. You know, it was nasty. Thought it was a cyborg needing some fluids to replenish. That's what I think too, Stanley's. And it also probably liked the Beskar that it was collecting. Another addition to my collection. It's a trap. Yeah, it definitely was. And he fell straight into it. Grogu Maxu, please. Please. I've been wondering all season when are we going back to the IG-11 plot? You know, like that. I totally thought like last episode threw me for a loop because I totally thought that we were gonna get the continuation of that. That we literally finished off on the same planet as the Anzellans. The Anzellans 2 weeks ago were like, "Yippee, we're all gonna be okay," and then it's like, but what about IG-11? Like, I know Din doesn't need it because he's not going back to Mandalore. So that's the thing. Then are we going back to Mandalore? Like obviously the planet's all like. Fine, he doesn't need a droid to test the air again. Are we going back to Mandalore tonight? Is that next week? Are we going back at all this season? Because I think we are. Like, why else set up all the Mythosaur stuff? That hasn't happened yet either. They gotta pack in a lot to these last 2 episodes, or maybe we're gonna see some stuff in Ahsoka or potentially season 3. You know what I mean? These are gonna be a crazy last 2 episodes. It's gonna be okay. Tonight, Sheiv. Yes, tonight. Indeed. Did I say tomorrow? It is tonight. Same thing. We need a Grogu Krang type creature. Say what? Krang? What's that? Whoop whoop. Aaron Tomato says, I'm going back to Mando. That's the way to do it, my man. 5 hours until the Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 7. Like TMNT. I'm so dead. The chat is wildin'. I can't even keep up. Guess who's back? Bo-Katan. Yo, Bo-Katan has really got the Darksaber like 3 times. At least twice. But she keeps getting it handed to her. Do we think that this is going to curse them? Let me ask that question. So, obviously, there's the whole curse thing about the Darksaber. You have to win it by creed. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think that Bo-Katan won it by Creed? Let's do a poll, because I'm really curious. Did Bo-Katan win it by Creed? And will there be consequences if she did? Or if she didn't, basically. Will there be kind of a curse, I guess you could say, along with the Darksaber that's kind of confirmed? Or is that just humbo-jumbo, mischief? I mean, they all thought it was mumbo-jumbo mischief with the mythosaur until Bo-Katan saw one and she started, shitting some bricks. So I'm just saying, like, they all thought that the mythosaur was mumbo-jumbo. If you think the Darksaber myth is mumbo-jumbo, who knows, Did Bo-Katan win it by Creed? The Darksaber by Creed. Let me know down in the chat. Did Bo-Katan win the Darksaber by Creed? Yes or no? Let me know in the poll. Do it. Quit pushing the buttons, Grogu. Yeah, come on, Grogu. Always pushing them buttons. Making the ship. Don says the DS is a Vizsla fairy tale. It might be. It very well might be. I don't know though, because even the night, I know the Night Owls were once a part of the Death Watch, which is of course a Vizsla kind of creation. But even they believe in it, and even the Armorer does. So maybe it's not just a Vizsla thing. Like, who knows how many dudes have tried to wield this saber or been handed the saber, and then bad shit goes down. You know what I mean? Like, who knows how much of that there really has been? Like, we don't really know the full Mandalorian backstory of all of this stuff. Moff Gideon maybe even should be, obviously he's not the rightful owner because Din Djarin beat him, but still, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Tim, I'm with you too, bro. I'll tell you who deserves the freaking Darksaber. It's Sabine. She should have kept it for sure. I think she still has Ezra's lightsaber too, by the way. So who knows? I'm still curious. We did get our first look at live action Sabine at Star Wars Celebration, or I guess our first official look in a trailer and everything. So now that we've seen Sabine, and we know she's coming in just a few months in Star Wars Ahsoka, is she gonna be at the end of Mandalorian? We saw Zeb. What do you guys think? Probably not. I feel like they're saving Sabine for the Ahsoka show. Actually, I'm working on a video right now that kind of describes what I think Sabine's been up to. We've seen the Rebels epilogue. She talked about how she was on Lothal, but watching that trailer looked a little bit different when we saw her on Lothal than the last time we saw her on Lothal in the epilogue of Star Wars Rebels. So definitely keep your eyes out for that video. I'm going to work on it tonight. Timothy says we have at least 6 years until we get the Mando movie. So a lot of people might get the saber. It definitely is possible, man. John and Dave have talked a lot about this show, kind of in the same light as Game of Thrones at times. I want to say being kind of like Game of Thrones at times, but in the same light as Game of Thrones. So the same way that Game of Thrones has characters trying to, get the throne, I feel like that could definitely happen here in The Mandalorian throughout the next couple of seasons, potentially, of people trying to take the throne of Mandalore or taking the Darksaber to claim the throne of Mandalore. I would love to see all that kind of infighting again. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if tonight's episode is really going to lead to any kind of unification of Mandalore. Like, I think that they're going to try to do that. But when you get so many different Mandalorians in the same room, they kind of just butt heads. It's what they do. There's been so many Mandalorian civil wars before. There's probably some more to come. Plus, we don't really see any in the sequel era either yet. So maybe they're all gone by then. Maybe something happens within a civil war among the Mandalorians. Brandon Tran says, what if Dave Filoni's movie is called Heir to the Empire after he finishes the Ahsoka show? That would be wild, man. I think the movie that he's supposed to do is supposed to kind of culminate this whole Filoni verse Disney Plus live action stuff. You know what I mean? Ahsoka, Book of Boba, Skeleton Crew, Mandalorian. I think it's all leading to that movie. So in a way, you're probably right. And to call it Heir to the Empire would be chef's kiss. I would love it, man. Do it. Dave, do it. All right. Mando soap opera for dudes? Yes, it is. Saber Smith says, I don't think Sabine is thirsty. That chick can pick and choose who she wants. For sure. I don't know where that came from, but for sure. You see that E-Wing? Whew. Tim says, I think it's good that Bo has it now. That means that she's going to have it in the end. In the end of what? The show or the season? I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering. Even though Bo has it now, how long is she going to have it? That's my question. That's why they can't take their helmets off. Bunch of butt heads. I just saw what you said. I'm dead. Pull it in. Do it. Oh, what are we pulling now? Okay, the last poll, 71% of you guys say yes, that Bo did win the Darksaber by Creed. So at least 70% of you guys, 71% of you guys say that yes, she did. And then we got, I think I'm in the 28% that's like, no, but I guess. Like it's such a technicality. She's like, Din's like, yo, she beat me, or that thing beat me, and now I beat her. How? I voted no because Sabine just gave it to her the first time. For real. Like, I'm worried. I'm worried now that's the thing that threw me off so much, by the fact she was just given the saber after what happened in chapter 18. It was like, shouldn't she have had it since then? Like, I get it. But that's why I think, like, I'm worried about what the armor is going to say. Like, is the armor going to respect that? Put some spec on some Bo-Katan name. You know what I mean? Like, is the armor really going to respect the fact that Din just handed it to her? And he's going to be like, oh, this spider thing beat me. And she's going to be like, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's more me as a fan watching it being like, I guess. Because, like, it's so weird. Like, when you really think about the whole Darksaber owner thing, it makes you do this. Because if you really want to go back to who the actual owner of the Darksaber technically is, it's sort of Palpatine. But, I mean, Palpatine was beaten by Vader. So then I guess it's Vader, but then Vader dies. Which then Palpatine killed Vader. Which then Rey killed Palpatine. I mean, Palpatine sort of killed Vader on account of the electricity, so, then Rey kills Palpatine. So is Rey the owner of the Darksaber? She's not even, I don't know. It's too complicated. That's what I'm saying, though. You really start to think about who owns the Darksaber, and the fact that these, the Night Owls and all the Mandalorians really are like, oh, dude, if you didn't win it by Creed. And it's like, it gets crazier than the don't take off your helmet or you're not a Mandalorian. You know what I mean? Like, all of this stuff is so extreme and ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I love it. Nerd Mafia says she won't pull for who has the consensus best booty. I shouldn't have read that one, but Sabine. Timothy says you jump too far into the future. Probably. Who beats... I guess Mace Windu beats Palpatine after that, right? And then Anakin beats Mace Windu. And then Obi-Wan beats Anakin. So Obi-Wan's the owner. And then Obi-Wan never loses after that, right? So, I mean, I guess he loses to Vader, but then beats Vader again. So Obi-Wan's the owner of the Darksaber. Got it. Alright. I mean, he's worn Mandalorian armor at least before. That one at least. That's the other thing with the whole Darksaber owner thing. Is that half of these fools haven't even... Like, are they even Mandalorian? Like, whew. The fact that Maul was acknowledged as the owner of the Darksaber means that, yes, if you're beaten by a non-Mandalorian, technically they're the ruler of Mandalore. So, I don't know. Just throw the whole rule out. Throw out the whole helmet rule. Unify the Mandalorians at the end of this thing, and let's forget about all this nonsense, okay? We need a Darksaber owner poll. We do. Okay. Okay. We just do it in the chat though, because like I can't put up different, like, a whole bunch of other names. Like we got to be like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and get the whiteboard out and just like, all right, so Vader beat the Emperor, but then he lost to Obi-Wan. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Sabine versus Pole. Sabine versus Bo Pole. We need it. Nah. They both win. Brendan Tran says, do you think that the new blonde Sith chick in Ahsoka might be a Night Sister? Interesting. I haven't heard that yet, but I suppose it's possible. She kind of has the same, like, hair as Marin. Is Marin's hair white, or I don't remember. I personally think she's a Padawan, potentially, or like a former Padawan. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, or if there's like, you know, just a couple of Jedi out there, or if they're Sith, what the heck the case is. Because those orange saber dudes in the Ahsoka show are like the two most intriguing characters in the trailer. You're kind of going, who the heck are these guys? They have orange lightsabers, which I don't know if we've seen in live action before. And then this white or blonde haired chick, which honestly, like, I started to think about it too yesterday, and it hurts my head a little bit because notice how they both have the same color of hair. It's not even like a blonde, really. It's like a white blonde. Like it's a platinum almost, right? They both have this like platinum hair color. I was thinking about it. I'm like, what if they're clones? I know it's hard to clone during this time period. But hear me out. Like, we have the heir to the Empire connection now. Because in the Ahsoka trailer, Thrawn, I've heard rumors of Thrawn coming back as the heir to the Empire. It's clearly going towards that kind of stuff. Or it's at least taking inspiration from the heir to the Empire trilogy. Tell me who is a white-haired clone Jedi in the heir to the Empire stories. Joruus C'baoth. Or Joruus. I don't know. There's two of them. So Joruus C'baoth, though, is a clone force wielder in the heir to the Empire novels. And of course, there's Luke and everything later on. What if in canon, clone force wielders have this whitish hair, or white blonde platinum hair? A lot of people have speculated that Omega has force sensitivity. I've never really bought it, but this could further that theory potentially, if you're into that. It's weird to me the two have the same color of hair. They seem to be Jedi in a time where there really shouldn't be too many Jedi, or at least maybe Sith or Inquisitor type characters. What if they were cloned, or they're like the C'baoth of this new canon storyline, where the two of them are clone Jedi, and that's why the girl has a braid, and why they have like these interesting orange sabers. Like, to me, it's really, really intriguing, especially the fact that they have the same color hair. it's interesting. Yes, Jorah Sabaoth. Dave said the orange sabers are intentional. He did. There was an interview. He was talking about it. He was like, oh, you're like the first fan to notice. And I'm sitting there going, the entire fandom noticed, Dave. We noticed. But yeah, it's definitely deliberate. Dave Filoni said it was deliberate. He took some inspiration, I believe, from one of the old Empire Strikes Back? I think it was an Empire Strikes Back kind of cover art or like movie art. I don't know exactly. It was one of the old 1980s cover arts though, where Darth Vader had his saber and it looked a little more of an orangish red, and Dave Filoni, I'm pretty sure, took some inspiration off of that. Yes, Jorah Sabaoth. World Between Worlds confused? So that's the other thing. I went on this whole rabbit hole last night because I'm real excited for the Ahsoka show, and we are going to be doing our Star Wars Rebels rewatch here soon. So I sat my brother down. I told him, yo, we got a movie to watch. He's like, a movie? Alright. I made him watch The Siege of Mandalore. Not exactly a movie, but it is a movie. I sat him down, though, made him watch the last 4 episodes of The Clone Wars, The Siege of Mandalore. Then I forced him to watch the season finale of Season 2 of Star Wars Rebels, so that, you know, Twilight of the Apprentice Parts 1 and 2. I made him watch that. And then I made him sit down and watch the last, 4 episodes of Rebels. We might have fell asleep by the last 2, but he saw the World Between Worlds stuff. I'm watching all these episodes again. And the episodes of Twilight of the Apprentice, where they're on, I believe it's Malachor, a Sith temple. That's the closest thing I think we've seen to what we saw in the trailer, where it's like the star map is in the sky. It looks like they're on some temple ruins. I think we're back at a Sith temple in that scene, and I thought maybe it's something like the World Between Worlds going on. It's not the World Between Worlds. It definitely isn't. It does look like it could be underground, under a level, or inside a Jedi temple or a Sith temple potentially, though. And I think that's maybe what's going down in that scene. The original Star Wars poster had Vader with an orangish saber. Okay, so it was the original one. It wasn't Empire. August Ahsoka. Hi! Yes, it's coming August 20th, I think. It's so close. It's so close. We're just a few months away. It's so exciting. Everybody says that after they make an oops, though. I don't know what you're talking about, Nerd Mafia. I gotta stop reading your chats. The World Between Worlds leads to many worlds some consider to be unlikely. Indeed. That's what the World Between Worlds leads to Star Wars visions. Rebels rewatch in the Vader's led Discord. Yes. Well, I think we're gonna be doing it here primarily. I am still interested to see if we can maybe you know what? Now that you say that, Jedi Mike, I'm still plotting out all of the dates for our Rebels rewatch, and I'm trust me, I'm super excited for this Rebels rewatch when we dive into it together. So I've been working on the dates though, because with my other new job lately, I'm trying to figure out my schedule with that. But I think we're going to start soon. I wanted to be able to announce it tonight, so maybe we'll announce it at the watch party later tonight, 11:30 p.m. Pacific time, if I have the whole schedule ready to go. It's tough though, because I don't know the full work schedule I'm going to have, and I don't want to give you guys dates and switch them all around. But I want to let you guys know when we're going to be doing it too. So I'll give you guys an idea soon. And it is coming. Trust me. I want to make sure that we watch all 4 seasons of Star Wars Rebels here before we get into it. With the new computer, might be possible. Might be. Very small chance that I could maybe stream it on Discord too. I don't know. I gotta figure that out. Yeah, we're Vader's Lair Rebels watch party. Let's do it. Jedi Mike says YouTube rewatch like the Bad Batch would be great. I don't know how we did it with the Bad Batch. Now that I'm trying to remember, but I promise you, I'm planning it out. I had a whole like poster thing a couple weeks ago, and then that got thrown in the garbage. So I'll give you guys a good heads up though. Brandon Trent says, did the same thing once. My friend was watching the unfinished Crystal Crisis Clone Arc episodes. Dang. That's what's up. Those are good, man. Those are some good episodes. Hey, what up, Leia Rose? Good to see you in the chat. Dawn, welcome in. Says, Discord live degrades at a phenomenal rate as more people get on, in my experience, especially if people don't have headphones. They do indeed. It's still, so with the Rebels watch parties, it's going to be here. Don't worry about that. It's going to be here on the YouTube channel. Just smash the like button and subscribe as always. It'll be the same kind of thing. If we can, I'm still down to have it kind of side by side on the Discord for anybody that maybe wants to watch along on the Discord. But that's, you know, that's if we can. That's if we can. No promises right now on that at all. If we can, I might be down. Heck, Jedi Mike, if you want to try and set it up, you can try and do that as well and play it on the Discord for anybody that wants to watch on there. While I mean, the whole point is to watch along on here so we can talk about it together, but you know, the Discord aspect could be fun. Yes, like our Clone Wars rewatch indeed. Bet. Alright, so any last predictions for tonight's episode? I know we've been kind of off the rails. There's a lot going on. I mean, The Mandalorian Season 3 has been a wild season so far. It's been a lot of fun for those of us that are big Star Wars nerds. You know what I mean? There's been a lot for us. We haven't seen Mos Eisley since the little stop by with Pelly. We haven't seen the IG-11 storyline continued. The Mythosaur is still out there. Of course, we're heading straight into Moff Gideon. I think all roads are going to kind of collide here in these last two episodes. I think they're going to try to wrap this season up in a nice, neat bow if they can. I'm sure there might be some storylines that might end up going even into next season or potentially into other shows, whether it's Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, all the kind of live action stuff that's taking place in this time period. I wouldn't be surprised if something that, you know, that seemed like it was important in this season ends up getting put into another season down the line. I'm super excited for tonight, though. I'm sure it's going to be a blast of an episode. I'm super excited to be watching it with you guys. It's been fun, man. It's been a fun freaking season so far. Sabersmith says, watched Jedi Survivor trailer before we go. All right, I'll pull it up. I'll make sure to pull it up. I'll pull up I'll pull up the Jedi Survivor trailer, and I'll pull up the Visions trailer because I want to watch that with you guys too. I've only seen the Visions trailer once, I think, and it's pretty freaking cool. It's pretty freaking cool. All right, so let's see. Jedi Survivor final trailer. Do it. Final gameplay trailer. So this definitely looks freaking awesome. I wanted to get up early the other day and watch it with you guys when it aired. But let me see if I can pull this up for you guys here. And let's watch this Jedi Survivor trailer together. Blow it up a little bit more. Come on, Sheiv. Little bigger. Alright, that's a little bigger. There we go. Alright, y'all. Let's check this out. Matthew Cruz, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate the donation. He says, Thrawn in final episodes, or you think it's just Gideon? Tough question, my man. That's a tough question. So do I think that Thrawn is coming in these last two episodes? Probably not. Probably not. It would make a lot of sense with the Purgle tease, seeing Garzeb, Aurelius, or Zeb earlier in the season. There's been a lot of Star Wars Rebels teases this season. I would not be surprised if we do see Zeb or Thrawn. But probably not. Probably not. So I will say this to anybody that cares. I started reading Heir to the Empire finally. because of the trailer and everything. So I've already read the 6 canon Thrawn books, and now I'm diving into the Legends Thrawn books. So the Heir to the Empire trilogy, finally listening to it for the first time. And it's making me think maybe Thrawn is with the Imperial remnants. But going into this season, and just in general, I didn't think that Thrawn canonically would be working with the Empire still. The fact that he got blown off into space. Other than the Imperials that are still with him, I don't know who exactly would be working with Thrawn that's part of the Empire still. Like, I don't think he's trying to bring Palpatine back necessarily. As far as what I know about Thrawn and canon, it just doesn't really add up to me. But from reading Heir to the Empire so far, maybe he is. You know, I thought maybe Morgan Elsbeth is kind of even a kind of a glimpse to the fact that he might not be working with the Imperial remnants. But hey, I'm not going to rule it out right now after starting to read Heir to the Empire. I think it's possible. Maybe. I'll say 5% chance we see Thrawn in these last 2 episodes. If it's a post-credit scene, that makes more sense, and I would love it. All right, let's check out this Jedi Survivor trailer together, because I love it, man. I can't wait for Jedi Survivor. We're going to be doing a giveaway of the game on August 28th when the release takes place as well. So let's dive straight into this trailer without further ado. The final trailer, or the final gameplay trailer for Jedi Survivor. Let's do it. Oh, it looks glorious.
You were only a child when they sent you off to war. Now
I love the music too.
The weight of a galaxy on your shoulders.
Yo! Cal's kicking ass. Yo, BD's got little boosters. I love it.
I cannot tell you who you must become.
Oh, chopped off his leg.
Or where the line is drawn, and there will always be against us.
Ooh.
Now or never.
Yo, that thing is crazy looking.
Seems our destinies are intertwined.
Keldor. Ah! These dudes are like unkillable. Oh, that's crazy.
If there is any hope,
Droidica. Ooh.
to stand against the darkness.
Yo, that was a blue saber he was fighting against. April 28th. Let's go! Dude, I gotta say, that trailer is pretty freaking awesome. To end it off on that one, for that to be the last trailer, definitely some hype stuff there. Let me know what you guys thought of that down in the chat below. We'll play it in the background again. Pretty freaking sick though. A lot of fun stuff to unpack from it. I gotta say too, like, I'm really hoping the game looks this crisp, because watching the trailer here with you guys, it looks crisp as hell. It looks real good. And I know it's supposed to be exclusively on next gen consoles as well as PC. So that's, I'm sure, going to help benefit it and make the game look as epic and crisp as it does kind of in this trailer. Maybe this is just the kind of gameplay footage as well, but oh man, does it look freaking epic. I love the dismemberment that they added into this one. A lot of you guys were talking about in our Discord earlier today. Jedi Fallen Order is an amazing game, and it really is. Jedi Survivor, though, it looks even freaking better, man. I can't wait to dive into the game with you guys. It's going to be so cool. All right, let's check out the Visions trailer as well, since that came out, and I haven't watched it with you guys. Star Wars Visions is coming. Season 2 of Star Wars Visions, I apologize, is coming May 4th. May the 4th be with us on that day, and it is going to be a fun one. So let me pull up Star Wars Visions and the trailer for that real quick before we head on out of here. Unless you guys want to talk about anything else, make sure to throw it into the chat if you do. Let's get this thing rolling though. Let's check out our trailer, our official trailer for Star Wars Visions Season 2. Alright, Let me actually fix this because I didn't like how that screen looked last time. All right. Let me fix that. Boom. All right, let's check out this Visions trailer. Let's check out this trailer for Star Wars Visions Volume 2. I'm so happy we're getting the season 2 of Visions, man. I thought it was so fun to have different artistic creators give their version of a Star Wars story. Look how sick this looks.
Everyone has an inner light.
Stop motion too.
I always knew you were meant for bigger things.
What if you just keep going?
No need to fear. There are others like you here.
I saw it myself. She has.
Yo, that looked like some Clone Wars animation there too.
Off the starting line.
Let's go. Exactly.
Don't be afraid.
May the force be with you.
This looks so good.
It's showtime.
Damn.
The storm is approaching.
I can fight them. I'm strong enough now.
No one
Yo.
stronger than them.
We can beat them.
I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of 2D animation or like stop motion animation, I should say. That looks freaking awesome. On May 4th. Let's go!
We cannot choose where our calling takes us,
Sick.
only whether or not to answer.
Wow. Epic trailer here for Star Wars Visions Volume 2. Available on May 4th. I'm excited. We're definitely going to be doing a watch party with that as well. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to see that when it comes. Let me know what you guys thought of those two trailers down in the chat below. I gotta say, I really enjoyed that Star Wars Visions trailer. I love Star Wars Visions Season 1. We binge watched all of it the night that it came out, and we're probably going to do the same with Season 2. I love the fact that they're going to different animators and some of the best animators around the globe this time. I think it's so cool. We are getting some Lucasfilm animation as well, which I noticed a couple of times. It looked like we got that, that infamous Clone Wars animation back. I also saw that Steve Blum is credited as being a part of Visions, or the Lucasfilm studio part of Visions. So Steve Blum is the voice for Zeb, of course, who also came back to mocap for him in live action. So cool to know that Steve Blum is coming into Star Wars Visions. So cool to see all these different creators bringing their Star Wars Visions to life in Star Wars Visions, and I'm excited for it, man. Season 2 looks freaking awesome. I hope that we get a little bit of build off of some of the stuff that happened in Season 1, but I love seeing these soul-contained stories, even if they are kind of short stories. I'm so happy that Visions and Tales of the Jedi are both getting a second season, or a second volume, if you will. I love it, man. It's awesome. I love Star Wars and animation especially. So the more the better, even if they are non-canon stories, you know what I mean? Tim says Visions 2 also already looks better than 1 to me, and I love the first volume. Same here, bro. It looks good. It looks real good. I'm hyped for it. Brandon Trent says those droidicas rolling around look awesome. They freaking did. I'm glad to see some so cool that they're doing this in Jedi Survivor in a timeline where it's a little bit after the Clone Wars, but we're getting a lot of those droids that we know and love from the Clone Wars. I've seen B1s, B2s, and droidicas, and I think commando droids, not clone commando. Got the Bad Batch on my mind. We see a lot of commando droids as well in a lot of the Jedi Survivor gameplay. So I love that they're bringing some of those Clone Wars droids back to fight against, and I hope that they do a lot more of that stuff. There's like a earth or a dirt wampa, look like you're gonna fight a rancor at one point. So a lot of fun creatures and things to fight against in Jedi Survivor 2. And of course, Visions with all that fun stuff, man. It looks awesome. Brian Stone, good night to you, dude. So much awesome Star Wars is definitely coming, and I'm super excited as well. Thanks for hanging out with us in the chat tonight, and much love to you, Brian Stone. Tim says, I don't think Lucasfilm is doing the one that looks like Clone Wars, LOL, but I have no idea. Maybe they're not. It looked a lot like the Clone Wars, though, and I know that Lucasfilm, I think they're working with another studio, so it's possible they have two kind of projects within Visions season volume 2. I gotta go look at kind of the information. I can pull up the Star Wars.com information on it, because I know that they had some. But yeah, I don't know exactly which one. I'm excited for the Studio Aguirre one. I'll tell you that much. Studio Aguirre looked pretty freaking good. Star Wars Celebration, big news. Let me see if I can't find this. We could do a whole recap if you guys want real quick, but Vision Season 2. Okay, here. Let's pull this up, and I could pull this up for you guys. There was a lot shown, though. Oh, it's not showing as much. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is actually perfect. Let me pull this up for you guys. I'm sorry about that. So, here are our Star Wars stories coming in Visions Volume 2. Just a little bit of hype to get us by Sith by L. Geary Studios. I'm excited for that one. It looked really good. That's the one that it kind of starts off with, I believe. That looks really good. Cartoon Saloon is going to be doing Screecher's Reach. In the Stars by Punk Robot. I Am Your Mother instead of I Am Your Father by Ardman, I believe is what that one's called. Studio Mir, Korean language cast, is doing Journey to the Dark Head. Interesting. And then another one. Oh, English dub and Korean language cast. Okay, so there's two different casts there. Spy Dancer by Studio La Cachette. I hope I said that correctly. The Bandits of Golok by 88 Pictures. The Pit by... So here's the one with Lucasfilm Limited. The Pit and D'Art Stagiaio, I think. Stagiaio. And Lucasfilm Limited are doing those together. A fearless young prisoner forced to dig for Kyber by the Empire plans a risky escape for he and his people. Interesting. That one sounds pretty interesting. I didn't even notice that they had these little descriptions for him. So Oz Song is going to be the last one by Triggerfish. I wonder if that's the more 2D drawn looking one. An alien child who longs to sing is raised by her loving but stern father to stay quiet because of the calamitous effect her voice has on the crystals in the nearby mines. Interesting. So that one's kind of going along with the singing that we had back in season 1 or volume 1. 88 Pictures, the Bandits of Golok is going to be fleeing from their village by train and pursued by ferocious Imperial forces. A boy and his Force-sensitive younger sister seek refuge in a vibrant and dangerous Daba. Interesting. All these stories look real good. Let me go back up to the Studio Aguirre one, because that one sounds really cool to me. Sith by Aguirre Studios says, a former Sith apprentice leading a peaceful but isolated life is confronted by the past when her old master tracks her down. That sounds crazy. That sounds freaking cool. I'm excited for this, man. Visions is definitely a fun thing. I love that Lucasfilm is going out of their kind of, I guess, comfort. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but I think it's cool that they're willing to do stories that aren't exactly canon and have it be in an animated format that, you know, some of the best animated studios in the world get to work on. It's so cool to me. And I'm hoping that there's some more Studio Ghibli stuff too, because they did the little Grogu and the Dust Bunny short. There's been some teases of them, you know, with some Ahsoka stuff. So I'm hoping Dave and them work together on something down the line. And I don't know. I would love a Star Wars animated Studio Ghibli movie or something. That would be so cool. We just watched Jedi Survivor final trailer and Visions 2. Let's go. I'm so hyped for the Studio Mir one. Which one is the Studio Mir one? I gotta see. Studio Mir. I gotta look again. I'm not even super familiar with these studios, and I wish I was now. Journey to the Dark Head is Studio Mir, which is a hopeful mechanic and disillusioned young Jedi team up for a risky and unlikely quest to turn the tide of the galactic war, but dark forces tailed them. That sounds freaking cool. That sounds cool, Tim. I'm down. That's the one at the beginning of the trailer. Oh, okay. I think 88 Pictures is doing the one that looks like Clone Wars to you. Okay. All right. I can't wait. I don't know. It looks cool to me. Jedi Mike says, I wonder if we'll get a what if kind of show in like 20 years. I would love that. You know, it doesn't have to be canon. We have the EU. Legends already exist. You know, just make some Legends content. Small says, would World Between the Worlds as a what if portal? Yes. Now you're thinking. A Visions what if portal. Good. Studio Mir worked on Korra? Yo, that's the Legend of Korra studio? I was wondering, there's one that looked like Avatar a little bit to me. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's cool, man. Sith is the one in the beginning of the trailer. Yeah, that's Studio Algiri. That one looks freaking awesome. But dude, that's cool. I had no idea Studio Mir does Korra. I'm excited for that one then. All right. OG, I hope you get some rest, my dude. I might try to crash here for a little bit too. We'll see. Hopefully no Tatooine Rhapsody. I don't know, Jedi Jen. There was something about some music, and I'm here for it. I wasn't big on Tatooine Rhapsody the first season, but I'm here for it. Tim says, yes, they did Mortal Kombat animated movie too. Dude, that's sick. It's going to be a fun season then. Brandon Trent says, what if the desert planet Cal is either Jedha former Jedi planet or Rogue One, from Rogue One, or Moraband Sith planet from Clone Wars Season 6? That would be cool. I don't know. I haven't thought too much about that. They have a way of throwing some really fun planets into the Jedi games. It looks like Coruscant's going to be a playable planet this time around. I would love that. I would love Moraband, any of those kind of planets. Mos Eisley, let's go to Tatooine, you know? I don't know if we've been to Tatooine in a game like that. Ardman did Wallace and Gromit. Yo, okay, I know them. They're cool. TMNT movie looks like the new wild animation styles combined. That's kind of cool. Yo, it's happening, Jedi Gen. It's not going to be a continuation of Tatooine Rhapsody. Don't worry. It sounds a little better than Tatooine Rhapsody for the music one. I'm here for it. Like I said, it'll be good. Chicken run. I know. All right, y'all. I'm super excited for The Mandalorian tonight. I'm going to get on out of here in the next minute or two. So if you guys have any final comments or questions, make sure to throw them into the chat. We're, again, of course, going to be doing our watch party for The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 7 tonight. The penultimate episode of the season. The second to last one. Here we go. It's time. It is time, my friends. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I cannot wait for it because it is going to be a fun time. I'm going to go work on that Sabine video. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Much love. And may the Force be with you. Always. Peace. And see you in the next one. Hang out with us in the watch party later. Peace. I'm dead.